So hey, guys, it is the Ace Michael Show. Welcome to it. Beep, 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 beep. That is it. That's all the music budget we have for this show. Hey, if you ever want to be on the show, you can. All you have to do is just send us a message, say, I want to be on your show. And then we will put you on the show. That way you can speak your mind, voice your opinions, take what's on your heart and get it out. Get it out, man. Get it out. And that's what's up. Today, my guest is, I ain't even playing, y'all. This is real. Today, my guest is Gia Skova, the film writer, screenwriter, actress, model, supermodel, producer, and she's probably got more than that, but those are the only ones I know.
And the director.
Damn, she a director. She a director, yo. She a director. So welcome to the show for the first time, Gia Skova. Hey, Gia, welcome to the show, Dorlin.
Hello, guys. Hello, everybody. Hello, Ace. And thank you so much for giving me, I'm here and I'm so happy to be here. And Ace is one of my favorite, basically a person. When he talks, you just start laughing or smiling and it's just going over and over. It's amazing. I love to be next to Ace. It's just it's really cool. So, I'm happy to be here and I really want to tell you something, share some good things about me, about film, about everything.
Well, the first thing I'm going to say, which thank you for all of the wonderful compliments to open the show. That was very nice of you. Remember this part. Every time people see us together, they need to know this part, that I met Gia when I was a young man at that time. Anyway, I met Gia, and Gia couldn't speak English, or she didn't speak. I don't know if she could, but she didn't speak English when we first met. And so she had a translator, and every meeting that we had to be translated. She literally didn't understand one single word of English that we were saying. And time.
Such a wild time.
Yeah, I couldn't have been saying anything. She didn't know. So time went on, and now, we're not gonna say how many years, but it was some time ago. And now Gia knows English so well that she's written screenplays. She just took over the English language. And that to me, right there, of everything that Gia's ever accomplished, right there, that's the beginning of my respect right there. That's admiration. That's more than respect. I'm just really? And we're still struggling with 3-year-old mathematics? You learned English it was like that? I guess so. But anyway, Gia's amazing. So Gia, I haven't spoken with you for now. It's been, the last time I saw you was not quite a year ago, or was it?
No, it actually was a little bit less. We met at EFM, and it was an amazing night show. And which, by the way, Ace was hosting. Yeah, and it was through AFM, one of the event, and. Yeah. I hope people remembered that event, and I went after Dubai for the premiere of the Serpent, my movie, and after I was in the Berlin Film Festival, and still people were talking about that night show, which was amazing.
That was a great time.
It was amazing.
That was great. That was a testament. I know the people, let me just say this real quick. The people who tuned into the show, you guys are probably like, hello, is there going to be a show eventually? Or are you guys just going to keep talking about stuff you guys did? Because we weren't there and we don't care. You know what I'm saying? But it's like when the musicians come on the Conan O'Brien show and they start talking about people they played with back in the 60s and stuff. And we don't know any of those people, but they do. Right. They're like, yeah, I was doing that gig with Skeets Feltson and Tommy McGillicuddy. He was the bass player on that gig. And people are like, anyway, long story short. So yes, that was a great night. I would attribute that night to just getting good people together. Sometimes if you plan an event, you can't necessarily promise that everybody who's gonna show up is on your like star plus list is gonna be there.
Right.
But the
Yeah.
people that were there at that event, it was a good combination of a good amount of people, and it was the right people, and everybody vibed together really well. And it was just, it was like the perfect storm of parties because it wasn't too many people. So it didn't get, you know, kind of like this, but it was nice and it was great. And there was some,
because we had like a very strong face control, so a lot of like negative people was behind the door.
Exactly. Yeah, we didn't have to worry about somebody spiking the punch bowl or anything like that.
Exactly.
Okay. So Gia, you've got a movie, and at some point we got to talk about it. So let's get into that. Okay, so you wrote, produced, directed, and starred in a film called The Serpent, which is an action thriller. Correct?
Exactly, right.
And this movie, I don't want to give away any plot points, but a lot of people get their ass kicked, and there's some shooting, and that's what's up. It's that kind of movie where you're gonna literally be like,
exactly,
you know what I mean?
exactly. It's basically very a strong story. Let's say, it's a strong story because it's a kind of a CIA operation, and one of the CIA agent is Serpent, which is my character, Lucinda Kovsky, which got turned by her basically agency, and she got in all this trouble, and she tried to handle the situation, and it's got personal. So basically that's the whole story, and it's all surrounded by action and the chasing cars and the explosion, guns, fighting. By the way, all fighting scenes being like stunts made by myself. When I did my stunts, I did my stunt myself as well. This is as one thing as a count, which is big. So it was really like when people are, we, by the way, been selected for 2 festivals, which one is the Jake Chan Film Festival in China, and another one for stunt something. So I just like got this news, so I didn't kind of went through yet. And both basically, both places, they said one thing, which is amazing, that our fighting scenes are so natural, which is really natural. We didn't have a lot of money to do the effect shots, so this was like all natural shots. So there was,
I'm sorry, you said something in there that I can't go too far before we address this. Did you say the Jackie Chan Film Festival?
Exactly. It's a Jackie Chan Film Festival, which is going every year, and we've been selected for that film festival.
That's a big deal.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah, that's a big deal. That's like I'm saying, hey, when you're dusting over there, don't knock over my Academy Award or my Oscar. Just dust around those.
Exactly.
I hate people knocking my award, my Academy Award. Don't knock them. Anyway, I don't have an Academy Award. This is wishful thinking. So when you made this movie, now, Gia, I don't know you to be this type of person who's inspired by these types of films. So where did you get the inspiration to make an action thriller where you're going to be fighting and blowing up cars and this, like, I mean, to be quite honest, look, just looking at you right now, you don't strike me as that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just keep it real, homie. You don't strike me as the action.
Is that my jacket color or something?
You know, I'm just gonna, you know, I'm gonna call it what it is. You don't strike me as that.
I totally with you. And this is actually, we had a lot of funny story around when we were filming, because all my crew and of course, stunt coordinator and the people who was kind of I was dealing with the real stunt people, right? Who was my partners when we kind of get in fight, etc. And that was the funny part when, I mean, I am like this as always, right? I'm kind of a happy person. I have a lot of positive in my life, and I'm trying to share with positive things and the good vibes and all this. So even in between the shots, I have me as a person. And when it's got like action, I turn to like, you know, to the character. And the funny thing, my stunt coordinator, he said once, he said, Gia, turn your bunny face. which is like really true. I mean, this is probably about the acting, and that's one good thing when I see most of them in the very old movies, when you see that different characters through the actors, and they can be evil or bad, or they can be funny. That's, by the way, my next project in August. We will talk about this later. It's a comedy, because I really want to try me as a comedy, because I think this is I don't know, I can be funny, I can be dangerous, and I want to share this communication to the audience, that they can enjoy.
Of course. And I know you can do it too. I mean, that's part of being an actor. You should be able to play different things. But I want to address what is the elephant in the room we're not talking about, which I'm sure is in people's minds, is the fear. You know,
Right.
you went out and you did something that a lot of people want to do. As a matter of fact, there's a whole East Coast and West Coast contingent of people trying to do it, but they don't succeed. And I think part of the reason they don't succeed is because of the fear. Were you afraid that you were going to fail at this at any point?
I mean, not really. I mean,
Dang.
yeah.
Okay, social
Not
media.
really.
No.
Not really. Because the thing is, like, I try to think about this actually, but what I always, actually my friends around me tell that all the time. So Gia always looking for the solution, and there is a solution, and there is really solution when you hit any situation in the world, or it can be a problem at home, or it can be something that, like, a task you must deal with. It can be big, small, complicated. You just look for solution, and you really can find solutions. So to make a movie, it's all about to 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 basically find a solution, to find a way how you can make it, how find a way how you can find right people, um, find a new idea for something, and always look for this kind of stuff, and really ignore like negative things. One of my first interview in United States, it's still somewhere in YouTube. Like, if you like search, you can kind of find that like somewhere. It's funny that I've been interviewing Russian, and one of the question they said, like, the question was, I was with the translator, and basically my answer was in Russian, and the questions was basically English Russian. So the question was, how you handle like all this kind of things, because it's actors being like evaluated or validated, things are a lot of barriers, especially in the acting world or modeling world. It's really that kind of thing. And my question and my answer was, I said, you know what, everybody speaks English, and I kind of like 80% I didn't get it what they say, I just do my thing.
Right. Yeah, you
So,
show up and do your thing. And that's a good,
exactly.
actually, philosophy right there. I think through everything that's going on in the country and the world. And I was telling you off camera that I did an interview earlier today with a young model who's in Russia today. And, you know, when we do the show, everyone sends their promo reel, their promo materials, and portfolio. Right. And so she sent hers, and she had the surgical mask on. And it reminded me that, oh yeah, right, everyone is going through lockdowns and quarantines, and why would it be any different in Russia or Australia or France? I mean, this is, everyone is going through this. Right. But also, that's affecting everyone's psychology, their psychiatry, no, their psychology. It's affecting how they feel, and it's affecting how they react, because we're not used to living like this. So when I saw the teasers and trailers for The Serpent, the one thing that I liked about the film is that you have action, of course, and there is some blood. You're going to see some blood, but for the most part, it's a positive film. You know, there's not anything that you're going to see in the movie that's going to turn you away in life and make you change your genetic code. You know what I mean? So Was that a conscious choice, is my question, to keep it on a positive?
Yes, I think, because you see, like, that's the in my opinion, responsibility of the artist, any artist. You can write the song or sing a song or make a movie or make an amazing art. And everything what we deliver to the world, it's a communication. It's basically our message with there inside, there is emotion. And I really want this emotion will be, of course, it can go up and down, right? The movie cannot be like a very, very funny, right? Or very, very like low. It's always kind of like a different dynamic things happening. But the concept of my message is always the good guys win, always. And the more kindness in the world, you cannot buy us for any price. And the kind of like the mind of human, like like human, they are so amazing. And as more I live, I just always, it just inspiring me that every person in the world, because it's the own world, they own like different things. And I just want to have exchange with basically humans to give them something that they can see and experience something nice. And I don't want to be part of negative stuff in the world and even talk about that. So many different things which reminding about negative things in the world. So I want to be that positive particle, which is, even it's a small particle in the ocean, it will be a positive thing.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, that's good. And will you be a writer, producer, director, actress, stunt person for the rest of your career, or just for this film and now maybe another film you won't wear as many hats?
I mean, I definitely, I have 3 projects on my desk right now, which is exactly the same, or maybe even kind of more kind of a involve more particles there, which I have to wear the hat. Uh, Different genre. I really like what I'm doing. And when I see what I can bring to the project, okay, this part or that part, and if let's say I'm joining some project and I'm there just as an actress, or they want to help, they want my help from like different things, I'm happy to help. Because in my opinion, the project, the film, it's always teamwork. And you just kind of unite with a very artistic team, and you create something that people will like it. So it's basically this, for the rest of my life. I mean, I can be more things, I guess, because I was like recently, this is something that I really love. And people, when they ask me, what's your hobby? And I say, you know what, I like to study about quantum physics. And they said like, what? Like, is it real hobby? Or like, what's this word means? And because I have so many different interests, and I just love to read about quantum physics and talk to the scientists around the world and to find something like a new technology about. It's just, I can talk, it's like another show, can be like a total another show, because it's so interesting subject for me.
Mm-hmm.
But to say that I can be, yes, I definitely will be in the movie industry for the rest of my life. But there is many other areas which I would love to discover for myself.
Yeah, I think that's a strong statement. Okay, so right now the focus is on America, at least in America it is, and what we're going through with racial tensions. And of course, we have the pandemic like everybody else, but we also have the racial tensions. So the question I want to ask is, everybody feels they got done wrong throughout history. So you have a
Right.
historical Russian president, not president, but precedent, the things that happened there were bad things. Germany,
Right.
bad things. France, bad things. America, bad things. There's no one group that feels like they got a fair shake the whole way. So now,
Right.
as an artistic and creative person, are you thinking of these things when you create? Are you thinking, well, you know, this character needs to have a voice for the women because she is a woman, so we have to kind of say something about that in this scene. But then she's a Russian woman, so we also have to. I mean, do you think about all this society issues when creating these projects, or do the project stand on its own? You can't worry about everything. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, so the answer actually super simple, because when I create a story, it's always not based on something that I saw. It's something that it's in my mind, and it's the creation. I try to just to make as something that is not from the news, or something from the not from the history. It just like some idea, and usually how it goes. And I try to kind of like try to see like, is there is a methods or like a technology which I'm using. All the new 3 projects starts kind of exactly the same. I always start with the character, and the character is not kind of like divided, or it's a man or woman. It's always based on the some characteristics are which is must be showing to the world. You know, like, because every my character I see as a hero. I see someone who do it something for the world, and it's more human thing, not just compare based on someone's opinion. Because I try to be kind of far. I mean, this one, like Serpent, is kind of like CIA, and there is, of course, like behind the whatever, right? It's just kind of, you cannot be very, very separate, but I try to not like a kind of based on a kind of a true thing. But let's say one of other my projects is based on a true event as well, which happened in 2010. And I try to kind of be close to the real events, but again, I just went too far. I mean, the script almost done, and I see on the script there is like nothing really you can say it's a true event. I mean, that person exists in the world. She's a Russian spy. She got caught in 2010, and she been changed for American spy to Russia in the same year. So it's a real story. She got caught in New York, and it was a big deal in the news and like New York Times and everywhere. So I try to not connect. I just try to kind of like try to search through the libraries, etc. And after that, I find myself that I really don't want to know. I don't want to know what really happened. I will just create what happened, and it will be more interesting, and like I will not get in any trouble if I will got close to some, you know, like whatever sensitive will be for the countries. Yeah, because, you know, it's, I always say that, I mean, people for me, they are citizens of the world, everybody. And I love everybody the same. I don't have someone I like more than someone I don't like because they live there, or they rich, or they poor, or they like, you know, like they speak this language and this. No, I mean, for me, they are human, and they are citizen of the world. And that's the joke I was saying. I am not from this planet, but I really enjoy to be here, surrounded by humans.
Exactly. Exactly. Now that's that's exactly what it is. So, you know, I admire the shows that talk about filmmaking, like the Inside the Actor Studio. I always wanted to have a show like that, to host a show like that show. So for today, we're going to do a piece of Ace's fantasy show where we're going to talk about, for just a second, I'd like to ask you about the process of writing a script from the script writer's perspective. Now, this is not the entertainment show anymore, guys. This is about serious screen making. So I have run into a hurdle that constantly I have an idea that I think is a good premise for a script. It's a great premise. And I can even develop characters from that premise. But I find myself often in the same space as far as where to go after the premise. So I say, okay, this is going to be about robots. This guy creates this robot, and the girl next door is fashioned after the robot he creates. But then when she finds out that he made a robot of her, she's upset, which breaks his heart because he secretly loves her. Now I'm done. I don't know where to take the story from there. So
Okay.
what do you do when you find yourself there? Do you find yourself there where you got the premise, some characters, but you just can't seem to figure out the third act?
Right. I mean, definitely, like, it's for sure, it's like a kind of an inspiration thing. And when you like start this process, just like look for a moment. It's like you creating a world. It's like a whole total world with the life. They become alive. These characters, they just like living their life. So find yourself at the spot when you just follow the character, where they go, what they eat at the morning, or what they think. You know, like all these moments will get you to the next, basically, you know, not to think about the whole picture. Just try to think next to the character, the lead character, or the support character, right? And you will feel it. And after that, you start kind of see around what's going on there. Because it's always how I see. It's always like you just looking at something and it starts like you can see more and more, and you can see the future and the past and the present time and the situation, the emotion, and like, you know, decision what they're supposed to make to do something or not to do. And this all kind of, it's a life, and you are kind of become a source what others will see through your eyes, you know, because you see that and you should take that and put on the paper.
It seems like it's definitely a talent that some people have and some people might not have that developed so much. Which leads to my next question, which is a lot of, I wouldn't even say a lot, several filmmakers are your self-contained artists. Your Woody Allen, your Quentin Tarantino, um, of course, Stanley Kubrick was one of these. The people who can write it, direct it, visualize it, and they pretty much work alone. Pretty much the people that they hire are still just following their vision. Like Tarantino's people are really, they're good at what they do. They're great at what they do, but they're following his vision. There's no one coming in going, well, I decided we're going to do it this way. No, we're doing Quentin's vision. So my question to you is, first off, clearly you are one of those people. Do you prefer to do it that way, or would you consider being part of a machine type filmmaking that we see? I mean, there's been a lot of blockbusters that were done, written, directed, produced, acted by one person, pretty much. But there's a lot more blockbusters where there's so many people whose hands are in the creative soup that it's not really one person show.
Right. Yeah.
Which do you
I
prefer?
mean, yeah, I mean, definitely I love to listen ideas and I love to listen the opinions of others. But when you kind of creating the story, and that's the story is owned. Let's say like if someone will come, this is just like what kind of my point of view on that, will come and say like, oh, we will film Ace, like we will decided to film the life of Ace, right? And somebody comes like, you know what? I don't like this part of Ace life. This is something that we don't like, but he is doing this. Like, how you can take that part? Because that's the part of his life. And this is like something that probably relate to my movies or relate to my characters. And just somebody will come and say like, you know what? I think she or he, like whatever, like we should cut that part. I mean, when you create the character, it's living the life. And you just kind of like follow. Even I kind of find myself that when I preparing a role for like different movies, like different script, and I'm reading the script, I'm reading my lines, or I'm just trying to think about this character to the moment when I kind of got the vibes of, because it's already living on the page. I just need to get through the vibe and it's right there. And it's not something that you should change, because it's kind of like become, it's the character, it's already living. When I work with the on Serpent with other actors, I was happy to kind of like when they got the ideas, or let's like I want to kind of like different things to try. But as soon as I gave direction of kind of very very smooth, that just they got it, because that's the vibe, and you got this vibe and you just deliver the vibe. And that's about the movie and the vision. It's look like you have your own kind of a, it's already taped in your mind, and now you just deliver to the world to show the people, because it should be delivered through camera and actors and the background and the like scenes, you know, you just like kind of deliver that, and now it's leaving. But that's just got it from there to here in the world. And that's basically, I mean, for me, it's kind of easy. I don't know. I didn't try the other way. Maybe other way is also kind of maybe easier or fun to do. But this is something that how I can see the thing. And I can tell you, I have a lot of fight on set with my cinematography. He is amazing. I mean, he is like so great, Lars. But a lot of time it was like this. Gia, this is like completely wrong. This is like the by the rules you cannot do this. And I said, okay, I understand, but we anyway doing this way. And like we got my way. And after that, even like the most biggest fight probably was on the end of the movie. It was a chasing scene, and it was really hard to understand what I'm really doing, because it was on my head. We always had the some kind of sketches, and we had the prevision, especially with the cars and the chasing. But that part was bold, and like nothing was in our basically hand, and it was in my mind. And we got like the cars, and it was basically chasing scene, and everybody said like, oh my god, what we do? And I said like, just let's do it, like please, let's just do it. The guys tried to do their own way, just in case we had the tape. And I said like, we need this tape, and we got this tape. And after that, the first thing when I saw my DP, after like when we like all the editing got and everything, I just want to see that part. And I show him that part, and he was like, oh my god, that was it. Oh my god, that's so amazing. He was impressed. And it was really funny, because really like when you have a vision, you just have to believe your vision, and you have to kind of be very certain that it's perfect, it's nice. You don't need to other opinions to came and just change something as if you think it don't need to be changed. You just deliver. And it applies to screen, it applies to paper, it applies to the character, it applies to your mind. Because if you decide something that it's right for you, it means it's right for you.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I got time for probably one more question, and it's one of these ones, multiple choice kind of thing, but there's a lot of jobs that you have to do to make a film project that you've chosen to do. Not everybody chooses to. Some people, you know, they hire a director. But you've chosen to do all of these things. Now, related to my life, I've done music mostly my life. And the other things that I do, some of those things, I love those. I love them because they're creative things. But I would say that music is the one thing I would do absolutely for free. You understand what I mean? I don't mind the other things. I like the other things. But if I'm going to do editing, I should be paid, because I'm not really trying to edit for free. But music, I would love to create music for free. You get what I'm saying? So do you have, of all of the hats that you wear, do you have one thing, only the one, that you feel like, this is the one I love the most? I'm so passionate about this one that I can't wait to do this one. The other things I do because I have to make the movie. But this one thing, this is when I'm in the true driver's seat. This is me at my best.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, I understand the question. So I think this is just my point of view in life. When I do thing, I like to do with love. And when I do, I really need to like kind of not sell myself, but just to say like, I'm doing it because I enjoy. And that's like really truly. It's not about the, like, I'm kind of telling about general stuff. In the movie, it was not, it basically was kind of like everything was equal. Was some, not the situation when I fired one person, like on whole set, I just fired one person. Not I enjoyed that part, maybe, but, but let's say I am like, I don't know, I'm cooking for my family and I need to cook like a dinner and I enjoy. I cook like I made some cookies and I made an ice cream or chocolate, or I went to, I don't know, like different things in life what I do, and I just do with love. And when you do that, you enjoy, because the life is not something that you like. You do something and you hate doing it, because that moment in your life, it just blows. It's like, it's kind of like not it's, you not kind of own them anymore, because they own you, because you become like a slave of that, like kind of things. Or I need to wash the dishes and I need that you know, like the stuff around you. And I always try to find things like in the moment what I'm doing. Like now, for example, I'm talking to Ace and I really, really love this guy. He's amazing. And it's just, you just finding that kind of things and you enjoy the life. And I think it's very important, because that's the biggest movie which we creating. That's the movie is our life. And there is no, we cannot record one more time. I mean, we can record the show or the film or do the different take, but not the life. And I think like we should enjoy every moment of our lives.
And you know what? That was some strong, strong visual, emotional, and philosophical thing to close the show on. But it's true. I'd say it's true. I agree. It's true to me. It's my truth, and I'm standing by it. Gia, how do we find you on social media? We want to follow you. We want to share. We want to like. We want to be pleasant stalkers. How do we do that?
Okay, so basically you can find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Everywhere you can find just the Gia Skova, but Instagram, I choose that name because kind of like, I guess I'm real. So my Instagram is Gia Skova Real, because I'm real.
And you are real. I attest to that. She is real. Hey man, H. Michael show today. Gia Skova, my guest. And when you listen back to the interview, when you watch the interview, remember this is a person that did not speak English when I met her. And the way that she's commanded the English is just absolutely fair. Like sometimes you were talking tonight, I felt like I was on a TED Talk going, hold on one second, Professor. What was that? That was great. But the Serpent. So do we have a release date yet? How do we see the Serpent?
So basically, the Serpent North America release coming very soon. We know the data, like this week or next week, it will be like a locked date.
Okay.
So hopefully it will be some either 1st September or 1st October. We will be premiere in Amazon and the iTunes. And after that, we got like some like other platforms basically, but that would be number one. And yeah, just stay tuned. I will definitely will post on Instagram. Serpent has their own Instagram page. It's called Serpent Film. And there you can find the trailer and you can find some like a kind of a fun behind the scene pictures. And yeah, stay tuned.
That is what's up.
Oh, one thing I forgot to say. in August, I have a comedy show, which is it's called The Recipe, and I'm playing the role Katyana, which I'm happy to do. It will be kind of like comedy. Yeah, so stay tuned.
Excellent. Hey, man, Gia Skova, Ace Michaels, we love you. You guys live the life you love the life you live. Thank you.
Bye.